What is going on YouTube? Hannah back making another brand new crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, as well as the S&P 500. Basically, what we're going to be looking at in today's video really correlates well with what we were discussing yesterday. Yesterday was a big day for cryptocurrency, for XRP, and for Bitcoin. A lot of major support levels were broken, which are ultimately showing signs now of potential reversal and correction back to the downside here that we do have to talk more in depth to. Bitcoin, as you can see, was retesting overbought for quite some time now, and it still currently is, as it's now going to probably start to reverse downwards to kind of gain some momentum in a healthy pullback to allow ourselves to pump even higher. And this also applies to XRP, which is currently trading in a red zone, which I don't necessarily like to play around in, as you can mainly get burned quicker than you can actually make money, and I'd like to talk about that. But ultimately, it is going to be the deciding factor as to which direction this coin wants to take itself to, and when we'll be entering back into XRP to make a profitable trade. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, definitely make sure to take part in our free crypto coin display giveaway. As you can see here, all you have to do to enter is comment your favorite cryptocurrency down below, as well as comment subscribed. Do those two things, as they will be checking, and if you're not subscribed, you will not win. Otherwise, definitely make sure to turn on post notifications, smash the like button, and let's jump into today's episode. So to start, guys, I wanted to show you guys this Cointelegraph article really quickly here. As you guys can see, Ethereum loses key support levels as Ethereum price falls to 2-month lows against Bitcoin. The other thing I wanted to show you guys was the fact that they do track the Bitcoin dominance here, as you can see right here, which basically talks mainly about that the Bitcoin dominance is actually heading higher. It says in detail the Bitcoin dominance index, which measures the flagship cryptocurrency's capitalization against the rest of the crypto market, surged from 42% on October 1st to 46%. On the other hand, Ethereum's dominance dropped from 18 to 17.5. That shows that more capital rotated into Bitcoin's market than altcoins so far in October, which I do believe is going to, again, help Bitcoin rise up to retest all-time highs, which I think it's going to do fairly soon. The rising Bitcoin dominance coincided with expectations that the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission could approve Bitcoin-based exchange-traded funds in a matter of weeks, and the applicants of the Global X Bitcoin Trust might have some sort of influence with it. Whether or not we are going to see that is unsure of, but as we are starting to see money leave the altcoins in the major crypto space, it's going back into Bitcoin as a whole, which is why we're seeing an increased dominance, which you can see up here is at about 45.6%, and Ethereum is 17.9%. So really what I want you guys to look at really quick is on these XRP charts as well as on Bitcoin. So ideally, we're getting ready to buy into XRP when we see a certain resistance or support level breakthrough. As you guys can clearly tell on the daily here, or I'm going to zoom in a little closer into the 4-hour chart so you guys can get a better overview. So right now, as you guys remember, we actually bought in a couple of days ago when XRP broke through its major resistance level at $1.13. This gave us range to buy in either on the hourly for a moderate to aggressive trade or on the 4-hour for a conservative trade and leverage this to the upside, which currently went all the way up to its resistance price level as anticipated, $1.23, where we were able to take profits, move our stop loss up, which have obviously gotten liquidated because we started to correct lower. And we discussed that there was now some sort of descending triangle forming here, which would breach $1.13. And if it did break through our bottom support, we would obviously could create a short position down to its moving average, and that was quick in and out. If you guys waited, that's up to you, but ideally right now we are trading inside the sideways channel here. As you guys can see, the 4-hour is a pretty vital role in deciding which direction we're going to be moving to, and as you guys know, I don't really like to trade inside this because for the most part you can see there's really not a lot of room to make money. Obviously you can, I mean, if we hit the bottom support, you can guess that we could shoot up, but there's really not a lot of volume when you trade inside these small sideways channels here. The volume comes when prices either break through it or break below it. You can see when we broke through bottom support, we fell to the downside. When we broke through the top resistance, we shot up to the upside here. Now, ideally, we don't look bad, and I really strongly believe that in the long term, especially in the next couple of days, we should be able to get some volume and momentum back into this, which could ideally swing us back to the upside here to retest $1.22. And the reason I believe so is because we are retesting not only our $1.05 support level, we are retesting the moving averages, and these are acting as a key and vital support level to pump the coin up. So the next trade comes in like this, and this is what we have to anticipate. If we see, and you can basically base this off the 4-hour or the daily, it's up to you how conservative you want to play this, but if we see prices break through our floor, our $1.05 support level, expect to see reversals back down to bottom support at about 88 cents. It's very similar. We're just going to see history repeat itself if that's how it decides to interact and play with itself or play out with itself. And you can see, obviously, we'll then go on to Baityard and leverage trade that. Definitely make sure to check out Baityard. I link them in the description down below. They have sign-up bonuses too if you haven't already signed up to Baityard. But basically what we'd be doing is going to XRP, going to the market order, and creating a short, selling short right here if we see prices on XRP broken through our $1.05 support level. You can see clearly where that actually is aligned with these cryptocurrencies. You can also see there's some sort of descending fractal that's forming there too on XRP, which I can draw for you in a second here. You can see there's a clear downtrend. Depends on how you want to draw this. We could draw it as a descending triangle. We could draw it as a descending fractal. However you want to do it, I'll just outline it here for you guys. Here's a clear bottom support at about $1.05. This is the ideal bottom support level that we are dealing with currently. Now we do have this downtrend drawn, and we can also draw a downwards support level, which you can see here, which is ultimately forming this fractal, which at some point or another is going to come into contact with our bottom support, and we're going to have a decision to make whether or not we are going to break through here. We close below this on the 4-hour or the daily charts. We know to short this to the downside. We break through the top, we can then anticipate reversals to the upside, as not only are we retesting support, but the moving average on the 4-hour is also there. You can see that clear as day here. So we would obviously be creating that position on XRP. It's pretty simple. You can see the sideways channel here. When would I buy into it? As a conservative trader, I would wait for us to pop once again above $1.13. So there is some wiggle room. It's about 9 cents of moving from the top to the bottom here on XRP's chart. But until we can confirm which direction we're going to be moving to inside this channel, I really don't feel comfortable trading here. You feel free to let me know what you think down below in the comments below, but I don't think it's smart or wise to trade in here because, I mean, there's really not that much room to make profit. You can see there's times where you can buy in on the bottom. This is definitely a more aggressive style of trade on the 4-hour. If we retest bottom support, you could leverage it to the upside. It's very possible, and then put your top resistance up at $1.13. You can trade inside these channels. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just more of an aggressive style. So if and when we do see prices retest, $1.05, which could be also this moving average, and we close above here, then you could buy in and leverage this to the upside here. You can even wait on the daily and see how exactly we're going to play out. You can see right now, clearly this is bottom support and this is top resistance. If prices tend to close below here with a pretty fairly large sized candle, we know that it could bounce off the bottom support here and head up, right off $1.05 and head back up, and you can, leverage it right to the upside here, or you can wait for it to close and then we start to short here. Now, the other very interesting thing is we do have this bearish cross on the daily charts on the moving average here. You can see it clear as day. And it's going to be interesting. We'll see how we react with this if we decide to break lower. Last time we did this, we just crashed right through it, which would be the ideal scenario that we probably do that again, especially with this bearish flip. My only concern with this is when you extend your reach outwards, you do have to understand there is a much bigger pattern here. And when we focus on the 4-hour and daily charts, we don't really ever get a chance to extend our view and really take a better view of this right here. But as you guys remember, for quite some time, even since I'd say early May, we've been tracking a big symmetrical triangle Elliott wave that's been forming on this coin. Moving average on the weekly is clearly set right at bottom support here, which is perfect. But you guys can see we have retested our top resistance, and there's this very big chance that if we close below our $1.05 support, we could see a pretty small run back down to 86 cents. You can see 86 cents is in line right here with this bottom support, which is what we hit last time. And it could take us all the way down to point C here, which would be right at about its moving average. There's nothing wrong with prices coming down to its moving average, especially with getting rejected twice now from our downtrend here. There's a chance we could see a big short to the downside here. I mean, what do you guys think? We did see a correction down to A. We saw A to B. We had a quick flip to the upside here from, still retesting B here. But notice we got rejected here. I mean, this would reverse the pattern downwards to start to retest bottom support. Ideally, that's this big play long term that I'm looking at here. This could send us into end of November, as long as then. So that's what we have to look at too on the bigger scheme of things, and everything kind of has to correlate with how we're going to, play around with this resistance here. If we close below this support, we know that there's going to be a pretty big drop coming, probably to 88 cents. That's kind of just what I wanted to run past you guys. And also, when we extend our look to these other cryptocurrencies, you can see Ethereum has broken through its, ascending wedge here, or ascending fractal, whatever you want to call it. It broke bearish. We were trying to stay above there. There's a clear resistance, a clear neckline at 3,600, which pretty much corrected this coin back to bottom support. It's starting to fall lower. Now, the thing is, a lot of these cryptos need support, and it'd be very interesting to say that, something like X or Bitcoin is going to correct all the way back down. Let me just draw this out for you guys, all the way back down to its point C here, which is why I don't think we're going to see XRP correct lower. But you do have to understand XRP has yet to break outside of this resistance, and that's what we're looking for. We need it to follow in similarity with Bitcoin, and because it's still trading inside of here, there is still the possibility of correcting to point C. So until we breach through this, and until we start trading on top, or we breach through $1.30, which is a huge resistance level, there is still this big chance long-term we could see a correction of point C. Bitcoin, not so much. Bitcoin is so close to retesting all-time highs, it's almost possible that we're going to do so very soon. And the only reason I'm seeing correction right now to the downside here, which is very short-term and very small, is because we're retesting overbought on the daily. Let's check it out on the weekly here. The weekly is also seeing we're pretty high, nothing to be too worried about just yet. I mean, we've easily scaled into extreme overbought levels in the past here, but I do believe we are starting to see this higher low formation happen even on the weekly, which is a good sign. But obviously it's due for a small, healthy correction, a pullback. So we could easily see this coin fall to at least 50K, buying in on bottom support if it holds, and we could easily head up there. This would give us the confidence needed and the reversal needed to pump even higher. It could be even more short term, ideally, but a healthy correction is definitely in sight for Bitcoin, and I think it's necessary for us to continue moving higher. As you guys can see, there was some sort of ascending fractal forming here, a rising wedge, which did break through our bottom support here. This was definitely what we needed to hold to see a small blip, and we did see that when we originally retested it, but it broke us through. So we're looking now for what could be a 4-hour correction back down to 51,000. If you're in the position from the bottom and you bought in from the bottom, yeah, then you're okay. But if you bought in much closer up here, we have to let markets play out. And that's pretty much what we have to do with XRP at this point too. From where we originally bought into, if you're currently sold out, which most of you should be by now, it's basically just waiting to see how are we going to react with this top resistance and bottom support with the price ceiling and price floor. Same thing is applying itself with Bitcoin. If you're not in it already, which most people aren't at this point, they've taken their profits from this major reversal up. It's let the market play out. If you're still in, then you're okay. You should have a stop loss pretty low to capitalize off what could be a reversal at 50K here. From 54 to 54.8 to 50K, it's a really small drop. But the next support is right at around this region here, and you can see why that is. If I jump to the daily here, you can pretty much understand why we didn't draw support at 52.6, because there really isn't that much room here, and you can see how quickly we've blasted through that resistance level. We didn't actually have a problem there. You can see the last time we had problems was right at around 50,000 for quite some time now, retesting this as a means of reversal, and you can see right here how ideal that we've been playing around with this when trying to break to the upside here. This was all formed up above our resistance, and you can see how many times it's acted as a resistance, as a support again, and then as a resistance. It's literally a channel. It's a very small channel, but you can see it's something like this. It's a very small window, a little bit higher, something along the lines of this. It's just I can't draw it that well there. You can see why this would be the next support for Bitcoin. And if it does, it would bounce right off the top here and head right back up, which is right at the middle of its Bollinger Bands. But that's pretty much where my head's at right now. I mean, this is all healthy correction. We're seeing it in XRP. We're seeing it in Ethereum. We're seeing it in Bitcoin. Ideally, we're looking to see if this is the lowest it wants to pull to, as they are pretty low right now. We did see the consolidation. It's lowered ourselves on the 4-hour. Bitcoin still needs a little bit more as it is retesting its overbought level. Granted, we have played out at overbought numerous times. You can see this whole month of August into September was just bouncing off the top resistance here. It's very possible for us to continue this, but I think it's going to just be a very small correction. I think it's going to be very small, lowering ourselves on the 4-hour, and you can see how this references this pattern here that we had reversals. When we were retesting overbought, we corrected lower. Then we headed up higher. You can see overbought, corrected, then shot back up. You can see we were overbought, we corrected downwards, and this was interesting too, that we started to see prices rise up as the RSI started to fall lower, some sort of bearish divergence here. But you can see right now we are falling, and this is necessary for us to eventually reverse back up. So we'll see how low this goes before it wants to ping higher, but I do think that it is healthy that we start to see this correction. Otherwise, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up today's video. Definitely make sure to partake in the crypto coin display giveaway, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.